Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. So we are back with our chapters related to the Goodman-Gilman pharmacology. Basically, I've started with the chapter number 12. Basically, I've started with the edition 12, but now I am covering the 13th edition of Goodman-Gilman pharmacology. So we are basically here to convert all the chapters, or to convey all the chapters of Goodman-Gilman pharmacology to the viewers with the key points and the basic all detailed understanding of all the points and of all the topics mentioned in GMGM. Okay, so we are starting with the chapter 1, that is the drug invention in the pharmaceutical industry. Basically, in this chapter we are going to learn about the invention and the basic trail of all kinds of invention and that take place over time, from early experiences to the modern chemistry that has been evolved with the time passage. So here are some topics that I have written here that needs to be covered in this chapter. That is from early experiences with plants to modern chemistry, from sources of the drugs, the target of the drug action, and additional preclinical research, clinical trials, that how the drug has been come into the market. We'll discuss over here. And here are the personalized medicine, public policy considerations, who pays actually for the drug promotion, product liability, and Me Too, etc. Basically, these are for the students of the first year pharmacology that needs to be in this 10 the basic pharmacology principles, and then we'll move on further, inshallah. Key point says, if we start from that particular chapter, that from early experiences with plants to modern chemistry, here I have written some key points of that topic that are mentioned in the Goodman-Gilman. So it says pharmacology embraces the knowledge of source, physical and chemical properties, compounding, physiological action, absorption, feed and excretion, and therapeutic doses or uses of drugs. Pharmacology actually tells us about the knowledge of the source, that from where the drug has obtained. The physical and chemical properties means physical properties includes how much the drug is soluble, what is the color of the drug, what is actually the nature of the drug. The chemical properties including it's all like boiling point and etc. Compounding means compounding the extemporaneous or smaller scale preparations of the drug. Physiological actions, that where it needs to act upon the body, where it's going to bind a receptor and then produce a significant response. And absorption, feed and excretion, the elimination of the drug. And therapeutic or doses or uses of drugs. Number 2 is a drug is any chemical that affects the living protoplasm. So here you are going to study the term drug. Here drug doesn't mean any abuse material. We know we have used the drug as a abuse material, but a drug is any chemical that affects the living protoplasm. A medicine could be a drug as well. Number 3, invention emphasizes the process by which drugs are sculpted and brought into being based on experimentation and optimization of many independent properties. Invention basically emphasizes the process by which drugs are sculpted and brought into being based. Actually, invention is more specific term than discovery, okay? Discovery bot basically says, the discovery says that, okay, some drug has been discovered suddenly, all of the way that in past times the drug has been discovered with a like they said a plant they touched and they tried to just taste it and they died. So then they accidentally discovered that, oh, this plant is containing a poison in itself. So this is a discovery. Invention is more specific and it's more allied with the proper experimentation and optimization of the independent properties of that chemical. Okay, invention is basically the proper learning of a medicine, of a chemical that leads to its discovery towards medicine. that leads to its proper channelization towards medicine. Okay, so here is the second topic that we are going to cover, and it is from early experiences with plants to modern chemistry. It says that we have plants and we have modern chemistry, and I just tell you about what it says. It says the appreciation of all the chemicals, the human infatuation with the chemicals. It says that in ancient, and it results from long experiences with and dependent on plants, because both plants are root bound. Many of them produces harmful compounds for defense that animals needs to learn to avoid and human to exploit. The appreciation of caffeine by the prior of an Arabian convent, who noted the behavior of the goats that grumbled and frisked through the night and eating the berries of the coffee plant. What it says that the human fascination and sometimes infatuations leads to the early experiences of plants, and because both plants are root bounded, the animals have learned to avoid. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, that the appreciation of the caffeine by the prior use of an Arabian convent, who noted the behavior of the goats. The goats had eaten some caffeine and they grumble and frisk through the night after eating that. And similarly here, the professional prizers uses mushroom and belladonna, and to dilate the people, use of mahang containing ephedrine to kill animals for hunting purposes for food, use of poppy juice containing morphine. Morphine is a well-known drug for pain relief and control of dysentery. And morphine has an addictive properties as well, that it creates the addiction. And addiction means that we all know that demand for more, and we are just dependent on them. Drug inventions are more allied with organic chemistry. More allied with organic chemistry here means that more federated with organic chemistry. That means we are going to unite upon, when you are inventing a drug, you are going to unite upon the organic chemistry. Dyes are colored compound with selective affinity for biological tissues. Here in GMGM, it has been mentioned that dyes are used from the past experiences and in the past years, and they are, what are they? They are colored compounds with selective affinity for biological tissues. As we have also already said, that we use dyes for observing the tissues into the microscopes, under the microscopes. So here the example is given that protonsil was the first used sulfonamide in treating the streptococcal infection. Protonsil is basically an antibacterial drug with a broad spectrum coverage. Basically, it covers the gram-positive organisms, and it is a sulfonamide in treating the streptococcal infections. Okay, now the sources of drugs we are going to discuss. Here, the small molecules or the traditions means some or smaller organic molecules are typically less than 500 kilodalton. Insulin is an exception. That is not a small organic molecule, it's a large organic molecule. So here we say that how do we screen a drug. Basically, the usual approach is to invention The usual approach to invention of a small molecule drug is to screen a collection of chemicals for compound with the desired features, and alternatively is to synthesize and focus on the close chemical relatives of a substance known by participating in a biological reaction of interest. Okay, the invented small drug molecule is screened to a collection of chemicals for the compound with desired feature. The one molecule that you have discovered is a screen on a collection of chemicals for the compounds which with the desired features you need to obtain. In an ideal condition, the molecules are of human origin, obtained by transcription and translocation of the cloned gene. Then comes to the drug ability. refers to the case with the function of a target can be altered in the desired fashion by a small organic molecules. The drug ability is referring to the case with which the function of a target it can be altered in the desired fashion. That in which fashion do you want to target or do you want to change. From heads to legs, modern drug development techniques include X-ray crystallography, offers a detailed information. Means if you have obtain a chemical and you want to just know the detailed structure information of that chemical, what you need to do X-ray crystallography technique. This is a basically instrumentation, and you will learn it in instrumental subject. This benefits the chemist with information. And about substitution that likely improper the fit. The NMR is the nuclear magnetic resonance studies drug receptor complex use the advantage that cannot be synthesized. Large molecules are increasingly important. We have started from the small molecule, but over the time period, the invention has shown that the large molecules are more important than the small molecules. There were no protein treatment or uncommon before the advent of the recombinant DNA technology. We all have studied the recombinant DNA technology in our previous classes. Insulin was introduced in clinical medicine by Benting and Best in 1921. This can come in MCQs or that insulin was introduced in a clinical medicine by Benting and Best. Insulin is purified from bovine or porcine pancreas. From pig pancreas, the insulin has been obtained. And here is the large molecules that are covered on it, the small molecules and the large molecules from heads to legs. Once again, if we revise here, so we have covered the sources of drugs from heads to legs till here. Okay, and we are going to have the key points of the pharmacology. You may take a screenshot of all these over here, and then we have from early experiences with plants to modern chemistry, that you may take the screenshot of it also over here. These are the key points from the Goodman-Gilman pharmacology. And small molecules are the traditions that we have started from the small molecules, and then eventually went towards the large molecules by using these modern drug development techniques. And X-ray crystallography is mentioned in GMGM, and the NMR, it has also been mentioned in there. Okay, drug recombinant DNA technology. This is the third modern DNA technology. That is the third modern technology that has been used. Okay, before going to end, I want to make you see that please have a look on these abbreviations and kindly take this screenshot. It is from GMGM 13th edition. ADME, you will go on it, like absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. HFSDI, American Hospital Formulary Services information. BLA is biologic license application. We'll go through these abbreviations in chapter one by one. CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. CDER, Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. DHH, US Department of Health and Human Services. FDA, US Food and Drug Administration. HCV, hepatitis C virus. HMG, CoAs 3-hydroxy 3-methyl glutarial coenzyme A. IND, investigational new drug. Investigational new drug, we'll also go through this in the invention chapter. And LDL is low density lipoprotein, and NDA is new drug application, NIH is National Institute of Health, NMEs is new molecular entities, NMR is nuclear magnetic resonance, PCSK9 is proprotein convertase it's casein type 9. It's a bit kind of unreadable to me. PDUFA is
Prescription Drug User Free Act. PHRMA is Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America. R&D is Research and Development. SCHIP is the State Children's Health Insurance Program, and SIRNAs is Small Interfering RNAs. Okay, so take a screenshot of these abbreviations and we'll go through this in detail or in our next lecture. Since the next lecture, inshallah, we'll see you by the next lecture. And if you have any comment and you